I got pregnant at 17. My parents forced me to give him up. I still remember the weight of that pregnancy test in my hands. 2 pink lines. My heart raced, my stomach flipped, and everything around me suddenly went quiet. I was 17, a high school senior, and I was pregnant. His name was Jake. He was my first love, my first everything. We had been dating for almost a year, and at the time, I truly believed we were forever. That kind of naive, all-consuming belief only teenagers can afford. We were careful, mostly. But that one time, just once, we weren't. And now my life was about to change forever. When I told Jake, he went pale. He stared at me in stunned silence and said, "What are you going to do?" Not, "What are we going to do?" Just me. That was the first crack in our fairy tale. He said he needed time to think. A few days later, he ghosted me completely, blocked my number, stopped showing up to school, even changed his route to avoid passing my locker. I was completely alone. I couldn't hide it for long. Morning sickness made everything harder. I was throwing up in the school bathroom, sleeping through class, crying myself to sleep. Finally, I told my parents. I'd always thought my mom would be the one to understand. She had me young, at 21, and always told me she knew how it was. But the moment the words left my lips, her expression froze. My father exploded. "You're ruining your life," he said. "You've shamed this family," my mother added, quieter but cooler somehow. They didn't ask about Jake. They didn't ask how I felt. They just made a plan. "You're not keeping that baby," my dad said, his voice like ice. "We're finding a family," my mom said. "Someone who deserves a child." They grounded me, took my phone, canceled my college applications. I was to stay out of sight until it was over. No one at church was to know, no one in the neighborhood. They enrolled me in an alternative school for girls in my situation. It felt more like a prison than a place of learning. At school, I met other girls like me. Some were giving up their babies. Some were keeping them. One girl, Emily, was only 15 and terrified. Her parents supported her decision to keep her baby. I envied her so much it hurt. I tried to fight. I begged my parents to let me keep my baby. I offered to move out, get a job, raise him on my own. But I had no money, no car, no phone, no one. They had all the power. When I suggested abortion, just to test their reaction, they lost it again. "We don't believe in murder," they said. But apparently, forced adoption was fine. They chose a family for me, a rich couple from another state. I was told they were wonderful people and that they had been trying to have a baby for years. They sent me letters, filtered through the agency, talking about how excited they were. They even sent a stuffed animal. It made me feel sick. When I went into labor, it was a blur of pain and sadness. No one held my hand. No one told me I was strong. I gave birth to a baby boy. He had my nose and Jake's mouth. He was perfect. They let me hold him for 1 hour. 1 hour. Then they took him away. My body felt empty. My arms felt wrong. And my heart broke into 1,000 pieces. I cried every night for months. I would press my face into his blanket. Yes, I kept the one from the hospital, and try to remember the way he smelled. I named him Benjamin, though the adoptive parents probably changed it. I'll never know. The next year of my life was a blur. I graduated high school, barely. I didn't go to college. I couldn't. The depression was too heavy. Jake had moved to another state. My parents pretended like none of it had happened. One night, I finally exploded. "You stole my child," I screamed at my mom in the kitchen. "You ruined my life." "You would have ruined your own," she said coldly. "We saved you." No, they saved themselves. From embarrassment, from judgment, from having to raise another child. Eventually, I moved out, got therapy, started working full-time. I began to build a life. I told myself I'd move forward, but not a day goes by that I don't think of him. My son, Benjamin. He'd be 6 now, in kindergarten. Maybe he loves dinosaurs. Maybe he hates broccoli. Maybe he still carries that stuffed animal around. I don't know. I'll probably never know. Sometimes I wonder if he'll look for me one day, if he'll want to know why I gave him away. And I don't know what I'll say. How do you explain to a child that you wanted him with all your heart, but you weren't allowed to keep him? Sometimes I write him letters. I don't send them anywhere. I just write. It helps. I still keep the blanket. Do you think, was I wrong for not fighting harder? Should I have run away? Was I just a scared teen who didn't have a choice? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. What would you have done?